Hello and welcome back to 100 Thieves versus Golden Guardians Academy. Crumbs, 100 Thieves Academy are one game away from sweeping the Academy Worlds Finals.
I know. This is not what we thought would end up happening. We thought this was going to be a much closer series, but the Thieves have come out swinging, especially in the draft. They have had 2 games where we get to see a bit of what Someday has to offer, but the rest of the squad has also been doing a lot of work. Last game, it was Someday playing the Renekton, the champion that even Golden Glue, somebody who went down in the 100 Thieves path of terror, was really advising. But I think we have to really look at what Keith and Olay have been doing in the bottom lane, Pastry, because Prismal and Stunt have been crushing. They have been doing so well.
That is to me one of the most surprising bits of narrative here throughout this series. I mean, Keith is like one of the strongest and most experienced players in this league. He's had LCS tenure, good and bad. He's played up and down a few times. He's been one of the most dominant players. He's the only player currently on stage with a title in Academy.
True.
And he's kind of getting, the lane's just kind of getting the hands. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's not having enough time to maybe gel or what it is, but Prismal and Stun have just been stepping up time after time. And I feel like that's the story of the Thieves since Someday joined. It's like, yes, Someday's amazing. We all know. But the team has slowly but surely been stepping up where everyone seems to be playing up towards that level.
It's been the playoff run for the Thieves that have really made it so good for them, because this is the same attitude that a lot of teams that don't get buys in playoffs have, in that they get to just play more games in a best of series. You get more used to it. You get more comfortable with playing with this squad. Yes, Keith has all that experience, but all that playoff experience is not on Golden Guardians. It is on Cloud9 Academy. This was not a team that he's playing on right now, so he does need to gel in here. And a lot of the mistakes that happened in the bottom lane, I think you can credit that to just that. You don't have the synergy with Olay, but he's not playing like himself, getting caught out a few times like the Azir in game 1 and in game 2 as Ezreal.
Just feels like Golden Guardians are sometime overstepping their boundaries at times where they don't need to be. Like, they're an aggressive team. They want to win their lanes and snowball that way, but sometimes it feels like, especially in the bottom lane, they're overreaching and getting punished for it.
It's hard to know how much respect you should give to every other member of the Thieves, because we talk up Someday and Anda so much. It's hard to shine when you're Prismal and Stun, where you're always looking, okay, how can I somehow look better than the guy in the top lane who's always crushing it? So it makes it harder for the Golden Guardians members to think, okay, they're not going to do anything if Someday's not involved, I'm safe, I can do whatever I want. And that's not been the case at all.
Well, Renekton, Azir, Xayah, Aurelia, Tahm Kench, and Yuumi all taken off the board. That does leave first pick Sejuani over to Golden Guardians, but a quick Aatrox plus Sylas there for 100 Thieves Academy.
That is a very powerful response, though. Someday gets the Aatrox and then the jungle Sylas flex that could go into Sejuani. You like that? You like Kled?
I mean, it is the counter pick into Aatrox. I do like that Golden Guardians are trying something else, because whatever they have cooked up, now is really the time to kind of just push a little bit more, play something a bit more creative, something that you've practiced that maybe people aren't as familiar with. I think no matter what, we just need to see more from Golden Guardians this series, because what they have presented so far has clearly not been enough to topple the Thieves. And Kled Akali, these are aggressive champions you can get work done with. Hard's on a very comfortable champion there in Sejuani, where you can combine with either of these champions to try and find ganks or pressure in skirmishes. I mean, Elise is nice from Anda, but again, a very explosive setup for the top half of the map, and I think that can favor Golden Guardians if they can execute.
I am glad you brought that up, because it really would feel terrible if the Golden Guardians did not give us more. If the series was over in this game and we didn't see the full arsenal of what these players are capable of, we would have been a little disappointed. We want to see the very best of both of these teams come out today, and it looks like the Elise is part of that, because Anda gets his signature pick again, and it creates for a very powerful dynamic with Someday as well. It's not like the Renekton, where it's very easy to tower dive somebody, but it's just as easy to abuse them in different situations and 2v2s.
I also appreciate this Draven ban here from 100 Thieves Academy and the Morgana ban to potentially break up the Caitlyn Morgana. Just again, keeping some of those more aggressive tools that Golden Guardians might try and steamroll a lane with out of there. As a result, we actually have Sivir banned here for Golden Guardians alongside Nautilus. This looks like a pretty straightforward Ezreal pickup to me. Prismal has been denied the pick multiple times so far this series. Looks like they will decide to take it here.
So then Golden Guardians has to answer.
Oh yes! The Keith McBrief Jinx is back, Crum.
We get what we wanted. More out of the Golden Guardians, and this is it. This is what they have to show. Can they prevail with Thresh Jinx? Not meta at all, but super relevant to both these players.
They know these champions extremely well. And if there's ever a time to give any player really at this point on Golden Guardians opportunity to shine, this is the kind of comfort draft that can allow that. Last pick Braum there from 100 Thieves. Nice and stable there for stunt, played it well in the last game. Good defensive support, has a knack for timing exhausts well and blocking a lot of damage, which is essential on Braum. But this is an anything can happen kind of game from Golden Guardians Academy. I feel like any one of these lanes could just go boom immediately in either direction.
I know you're excited about Keith's Jinx, but I think Ole's Thresh is really what's getting me worked up, because in the bottom lane, it's so much is dictated by the support, setting up your place first, and having your marksman follow you up. Ole has primarily been playing Tahm Kench this season. So if you've been playing a defensive support, first of all, it would make a lot of sense for you to practice the most anti-defensive support of all time, like a Thresh in the back. Play it as a secret, last game potentially of your split. You bust it out here, but where are his mechanics at on this pick? Because if his hooks are on point, the game's going to be blown wide open and Keith is going to get all the resets.
Thresh is just one of those weird champions. Like every top level support probably started out as a Thresh main at some point.
Absolutely.
So they all have it in their back pocket, and Ole just feels like it's the time to play something that he has probably played thousands upon thousands of games on.
I like that.
Much like LinkedIn, Thresh is never not meta.
The 1,000 game.
If you believe hard enough.
I mean, worst case scenario, he's playing Lantern Duty to a Jinx, so it's actually going to be pretty fine.
Yeah, this has some like pedigree to it. Like Jinx Thresh was a real lane for quite a while when Thresh was the most dominant support in the game. So certainly, you know, a known quantity as well. Not just champions these players are comfortable on, but also ones that can work together well. It's just, again, it's something different from Golden Guardians, which I guess is what we asked for.
Something that we have just not seen this combination before. But Palafox has been having a really good series. He goes in, you can chuck out the Lantern in the Shroud, he gets to take it back. So this actually allows Palafox to be even more aggressive.
All right, well, before we get into anything else, we're going to throw it down to Riv, who's standing by with an arrow.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I am joined by the coach from GGS Academy, Anero. Just wondering, you guys were able to strike gold twice against 100 Thieves throughout the season. What is the team experiencing here in this best of fives? Playoffs is a different beast that's preventing them from finding those wins again.
Yeah, so I mean, 100 Thieves is doing their stuff well. Like, I'm happy for them that they're getting that done. Like, being 0-2 definitely sucks for us, but our guys are still confident that what we're doing is going to work. We had like a special setup here for specifically what we did in these picks. That's why we're on some weird thing like Jinx Thresh. So yeah, we just had to pull out one of our pocket strategies for this. Hopefully it turns out well. I'm confident in the guys still. So.
And what's the idea behind this one? Is it kind of just like a comfort pick for everybody? I love the draft that you've come up with for Game 3.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely a comfort pick. It's kind of something we actually got from one of our scrim partners this week. We played against it and we didn't have fun with it. So we tried it out and it was pretty good. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Very cool. Anero, thank you for the insight. Best of luck moving forward. Back to you guys for the game.
Let's dig really deep into that one, Pastry, because think about this.
I'm ready.
He said they got that from a scrim partner this week. There's really only 6 teams scrimming right now. 4 teams in the LCS, and these 2 teams here playing now. No other Academy team should be playing right now. No other LCS team should be playing it. Who is playing Thresh Jinx?
Maybe we'll find out this weekend. Don't forget, semifinal.
Sure will.
Start on Saturday at 2 p.m. PST. But again, these are champions both these players have played before. Expect them to navigate well, and you know, there's a little bit of maybe some question marks here. Oh, what a hook! Into the chompers, and that's gonna be first blood. Prism will see you later.
That looked almost too easy.
When the Thresh hook is calibrated just right, a lot of plays with Thresh feel too easy.
The level 2 all-in is just something that you should always expect.
Classic.
Yeah, right. It is the first barrier of entry to pro play bottom.
That's true, actually. Everyone learns the hard way, and this way is the hard way. Prism just gets nailed here.
There wasn't even anything to actually go for. The minion wave was fine, but rush priority from Olay and Keith. They play it really well, and we can start to see why they did not have fun playing against this matchup themselves.
Yeah, Prism losing his flash there extra sucks. He was real dead at the end of that ult. Nice flip back. Powerfox in there. Down to Soligo, doesn't have it. Split footwork proccing instead. I was so excited for a 1v1 kill. But here comes Ander hard roaming around as well. What a cocoon! Through the sniper into the shroud goes Powerfox. Well played on both sides.
He's getting fancy, but you just can't outplay the Akali that way. And now the prio from bottom lane has resulted in both supports are here. We got a 3v3.
Yeah, Stunt's like, not on my watch. Has done well to shadow Olay, but Thresh again, another strong roamer. Hook just gonna miss there onto Ander. Crab though goes over to Golden Guardian, so Darshan and Hard will zip away.
These two teams, I love that they're so willing to fight on what is match point for Golden Guardians.
Certainly, and nice to see both teams really being, I would say, more aggressive than I expected. Certainly on the Thieves side, but Golden Guardians have still not let the results so far in these games stop the way they want to be playing. Olay continuing to hammer here in mid. Soligo ready with a flash. Olay. Oh, he predicted it! He jukes himself back in there. Soligo going to be forced to flash. Kingslayer not enough. Gets stunned and killed by Powerfox.
Wow.
What a hook.
The roam is paying off. I was just about to say that he spends a little bit more time out of lane. He's going to start getting out leveled, but he finds another kill. Gets the flash from Soligo, already spreading that influence from bottom lane into mid.
Keep walking.
He had it, right? The minion wave would have blocked him.
I mean, he's worried maybe about getting flash played, but at that point, that's the DJ Khaled. You played yourself at that one. Soligo droops right back into the hook.
He said it. He played himself.
All right, well, 2 for 2 on Olay, landing hooks and getting kills, and that's 2 quick ones for Golden Guardians Academy, up 1,000 gold exactly.
That feels bad. Not getting that last hit minion.
Mini Kled. I guess dismounted Kled if we want to get technical. Yeah, it can struggle sometimes. It takes so long to build courage back up, just slapping minions. So missing one hurts even more because you're like, I need this to remount, and also I don't have any gold. Definitely feels bad all around.
We got Merc Treads from Powerfox in the mid lane. So not only looking to roam, but looking to really stop a lot of that 2v2 power that Soligo and Anda can bring. So making sure that he's set up, and the first roam will come to the bottom. And what a surprise, where your Jinx is starting to get ahead. You go help out that lane.
Already 6 as well, so Powerfox could make a heavier amount of impact if he can find the right window. Delivers that one to Keith. Not the support he was looking for, but again, Olay and Keith continuing to apply pressure. Soligo now has his ulti ready as a sneaky Drake take here from Hard. Gonna get lanterned up by the Thresh, and with the bot lane pressure they have with Powerfox also pushing through mid, that's gonna be a straightforward, very early Infernal for Golden Guardians. Finally get a first Drake in the series.
About time. So they are definitely taking the advice of putting a little bit more priority on these objectives, not giving them away for free. So let's see if 100 Thieves gets to change up their game plan, because clearly Golden Guardians has learned and adapted from 2 games. But that does put the pressure on the Thieves that if they want to continue to get ahead, they need to understand what Golden Guardians has adapted to and counter that.
Oh, we're here in top lane, watching Darshan's antique collection of longswords. Someday up about 10 or so. Again, very comfortable here on the Aatrox. Powerfox so continuing to just pressure Soligo and try and shove this out. Those Merc Treads working overtime here in the 1v1. So tough for Soligo to punch through, especially with the fleet footwork.
And you got Merc Tread, so MR, Tenacity, the regen from her Spellvamp, then Fleet Footwork, then Potions, and Doran Shield. It's no point trading against her.
Yeah, and Powerfox actually navigating really nicely around a lot of these trades. It's tough to eat through a full Corrupting Potion. Oh, they tried to land that E onto Soligo and barely missed. But I do like that Powerfox is just applying some pressure. It's going to go ahead and get the blue buff now, and if either junglers want to come to mid or if the mid laners want to join their junglers, both these champions can do a lot in any sort of 2v2 or 3v3. In fact, one might be starting now. Anda with the stun onto hard. No 6 there for Sedge. Anda looking for a solo kill once more, but here comes Palafox over the top. Looking for the execution. Does not get it, actually. Anda time to repel nicely. Here's Darshan. All right, it's all over. Palafox dashing back in. Still have the ulti. 2 charge left to get the kill on Soligo.
Huge outplay from the mid laner, and now Golden Guardians has a ton of pressure in mid, and they're actually able to start spilling that elsewhere, because you also saw that Darshan got a little bit of gold out of that too. So it all starts by taking down the sprinter. Remember, she still has that passive on her, so she's not going to be that easy to burst. But I believe that the big play here is that Palafox knocks the E on Soligo, gets the execute, and then immediately follows up on the Silas. A 2-for-1.
And again, with that fresh blue buff, I believe he had, Palafox able to make quick work. Now has the build tool to Cutlass finished. Someday going to get one plate, but here's a TP up. Palafox will be joining the fray.
There's red buff, and Someday does have flash.
Well, the ulti Darshan looking for the Q, does just miss. A trade's not so bad. Palafox was TPing back to lane anyway, so I guess might as well try something in the top lane first.
It's hard to take down Someday. That's what we have learned so far, but it is not impossible.
Well, Keith and Ole also still doing nicely here in the bottom lane, up about 15 CS there for Keith. With those 2 AD items actually hammering the turret and their plates as well. So Golden Guardians in a significantly stronger early game conditioning we've seen. We really haven't seen big leads at all in the early game, despite all the action. This time, already up 2,000 gold and continuing to apply pressure. Has to be good for Golden Guardians, who are looking for a bounce-back game here.
We need to see how good they get at snowballing, though, because now we also have a really easy-to-assert lead in the mid lane. Akali is the champion you must absolutely play around. Your bottom lane is already winning naturally, and you don't really worry about something in the top lane. And you stated flat out that that wasn't going to be your game plan. So let's see what Hard and Palafox can do together, because as a melee assassin and Sejuani 2v2, they should win against Anda and Soligo.
Yeah, stun and Prismal roaming up means that they can't win that, but they can just knock down the tower here all by themselves, take every single plate. I mean, that's an unreal individual lead there for Keith. Yeah, up almost 1,500 gold.
That's that value of Jinx. That's why it's not fun to play against. You make one misstep in the lane, suddenly she gets one wave to hit the turret with, gets 2 plates out of that. It's one of the more punishing ADs to deal with when it comes to losing your tower.
Yeah, Jinx always been good with free time on the turrets, and that's a lot of time that Golden Guardians have had. But I think still the man to watch Palafox there on your screen. This is the kind of game where, you know, as a younger player on this squad who's kind of come up with the organization as they've had a significantly, like a turnaround split for this team in this league. If you're ever set up to carry a game, it's starting 2-0-1 on Akali and making it look real good in the process.
Well, we have a Rift Herald that is about to be fought over for Golden Guardians. The bottom lane is being swapped to topside, so that is the next point of contest. But it looks like the Thieves are actually quick to the punch and will be taking an Ocean Dragon first. It looks like Elise is actually sneaking that away while Golden Guardian sets up vision for the Herald.
Yeah, looks like they're valuing taking these towers with this Jinx. I mean, 2 daggers and an eye edge already finished for Keith. He's kind of set on taking down that objective. So, and someday we'll team up here for the Ocean. Does reset, but only momentarily.
And Golden Guardians has not started Rift Herald here, though, so they are on a timer, because if they take too long, these will gladly challenge and take that fight. It looks like Sejuani is starting it just now. She should be able to get it.
Yeah, a little behind on the play, but I don't think it's going to end up costing them too much here. Hook not going to connect. Stun puts the door up just in case. Prismal going back in, but again, every little rocket. Ooh, looking for the Rift Herald steal. Nice try. I like the thought. Not going to happen. Just going to take his time and eventually finish that one off. He does have his smite. Could look to drop mid, but Palafox is getting out of there. Likely want to drop this early to try and get those plates. Have a minute 15 to do that, but not for Keith here. He's got plenty of opportunity right now just to finish this one off.
Only the mid lane would make sense, and now that Akali's coming back with a completed gunlet, I mean, the best spike for her, it's a no-brainer. You go help out Palafox here, and it looks like that's where he's going right away.
Looks like they'll have just enough time as well, as Keith and Ole will also go back. Have more gold for them to spend after taking 10 plates off the map between their duo lane. We'll see if they can complete the full 15. Don't see that too often here. You can see Palafox pressuring Saligo, just trying to set up this wave. There's the channel.
And the only member that can really make it to here is gonna be the Ezreal teleporting. Yeah, he goes for it right away, trying to help it out, but I don't think, could it be enough? Jinx is not here yet. Yep. You do get all 15 plates at the very least.
Rifttrail gone. Significant amount of damage and early gold here for Golden Guardians Academy. So even though the mid lane outer turret does stand tall, shouldn't be too long before they're able to finish that one off.
All right, we have the 1-3-1 for both these teams just starting. So let's see who controls vision around mid better and allows them easy access to both side lanes.
14 plates, my goodness.
Yeah.
2,000 gold
That's
worth of
a lot.
advantage just the turret plates alone. And it looks like Golden Guardians will finish off the third tower
And
pretty
it's
quickly.
2,100 of that is in Keith and Prismal. This is why I was highlighting Keith and Ole as the place to go to for Golden Guardians.
Palafox though going to try and make the play. Saligo stole his ulti though. There's a lantern out, and Ole will scoop up the mid laner to safety.
That Lantern Shroud combo, I know is going to get really upsetting if this game continues, because that makes Akali just such a crazy threat, right? You can Lantern out and then take the E back in and then R back out, and then, yeah, there's so much.
Sounds fun.
For the Akali player and Thresh, but not for whoever's
Not for the
trying to
enemy
take
team.
down the Akali.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I guess we're having a contest between who's scarier. Is it this Jinx or is it this Akali? And I think I have to agree with you, Crumbs. This is a game where Keith can really show why he was a player very valuable to the team when they picked him up. He's not going to get slapped by Ole. That actually did quite a lot of damage.
You can tell that their synergy playing this duo is there, because what ends up happening with the Thresh and the plays is that he'll hook something and then the Jinx might not aim the W or the stun in the location where the hook actually pulls you, because it's not just it stuns you, it gives you a little bit of a pull. So you have to actually know exactly where Thresh either flays you or hooks you into to set up the skill shots that Jinx has.
So much control of the center right now for Golden Guardians. 4,500 gold in the lead. Palafox is pushing top. Darshan actually has enough room to push bottom lane right now. And there's an Infernal Drake coming up in 55 seconds as Golden Guardians is basically deciding what tower they want to kill next, because almost all of these tier 2s will be under severe threat any time the squad comes around.
Demolition's expertise is here, and you've got a teleport to back him up if things get hairy.
And tried to defend the tower and a fistful of rockets to his trouble. I just don't think 100 Thieves can realistically defend this, at least for long enough, unless Golden Guardians want to leave and try and pressure somewhere else.
It's a lot tougher for them to find these picks because of the threat of Lantern. You're always going to be thinking, if Thresh is here...
Oh, hard trying to make the play, gonna stun up someday. Keith there with the Trumpers play back, and Darshan able to grab that kill. And that's Saligo TPing in, steals the Sejuani off, goes back around, stun jumps in front. Palafox in the meantime taking mid at tier 2, by the way. The 100 Thieves playing a 4v5 with too many objectives to try and defend.
Yeah, Golden Guardians caught the biggest fish in the tank, and now they got some extra damage in the mid lane, but it's going to be all a big bruise, as the real objective is this Inferno.
Don't fancy this defense, but the hook from Ole does miss. Palafox ready there, has the ulti. I don't think 100 Thieves should be here. Ulti out from Saligo. And they're going in. They actually find Keith for the assassination. 100 Thieves! Call me a liar. Gonna pick off hard here as well. Saligo able to slap him down with the chains.
They had Someday with teleport ready to back him up if things got a little bit out of control. They're gonna keep chasing. Will they find the Thresh?
Pledge getting out of there, nailed by the stun, forced to flush away. Saligo in there, finds the shutdown.
They don't know that OLED. Do they know? No, they shouldn't know.
Have to check. I think they know he ran this way. They are going to look for him here. Both brushes will be checked
Oh.
away. Dipped his way out. He's going to go down as well. 100 Thieves find 4 kills.
They just cleaned up Golden Guardians after making only Palafox is doing something good here. Finally taking down the mid lane tower, but the Thieves, man, they are so quick at pulling the trigger and knowing when they can take these fights. Because remember, Golden Guardians had not only spent all this time clearing out vision, getting that play in the bottom lane, so by the time they're here, Keith has no mana, no HP, dies right away, didn't even have an opportunity to burn his flash. They were so exhausted from everything else that they had done that fighting them at the Infernal was the correct call.
I feel like I thought Palafox had ulti then, but maybe he didn't, which I think makes a lot more sense why that play did not go as planned for Golden Guardians Academy. But regardless, exceptionally well played by 100 Thieves to, you know, get themselves some gold in this game for a game that is still looking grim as far as gold leads go. Those are the kind of things you want to be doing, although this will look beautiful here. Although Soligo's still alive, Aftershock's pretty good ability. Now Stunt gonna have to run away, gonna get a flash out of the deal.
Pretty good deal.
Close call for Soligo in top lane, but does live through it thanks to Aftershock. Palafox, though, starting to mount up the pressure in the side lane, can very clearly duel Soligo happily. Even though he didn't get the kill that time, more than enough space for the rest of Golden Guardians to take that tier 2.
The Golden Guardians lineup is not scary if you can take down Keith right away, and Palafox stays split pushing. So as long as the Thieves continue to prioritize these very crucial members of Golden Guardians, they should still have a window into these fights. On the flip side, Golden Guardians just needs to find a way to eventually incorporate this Akali. She's already getting really, really strong, has a 70 CS lead in the mid lane, 2 completed items. I mean, she is just prime time ready to one-shot multiple members of 100 Thieves. So the more they can do to play around Palafox, the easier it's going to get.
Yeah, I don't think Soligo will win the 1v1 next time. Now that Palafox has finished some Morello, it does have a stopwatch. In fact, they both do. There's a potential outplay making.
In fact, there are 6 stopwatches in the game. 4 on 100 Thieves will allow for some pretty creative playmaking out of them.
Everyone's favorite consumable. There's Keith, Hard, and Ole trying to pressure into the mid lane. It's the smart tower to try and siege with the side lane pressure of the Kled and the Akali. Golden Guardians back to 1v1.
A lot of this farm just going into the pockets of the Akali.
Pressure ramping up around the Baron as well, potentially. No mountains in the game just yet, but 2 Infernals and this Jinx. Plenty of damage for Golden Guardians, for both champions and monsters.
All right, they have control of mid, control top and bottom. What do they do with it? It looks like it's control around Baron, getting some vision here. With a tier 2 knockdown this early, you feel like you have way more room than you should to be able to pull these rotations off. They do so just in time and let Jinx start wailing away, but the threat of the engage is too scary.
Yeah, 100 Thieves are responding really effectively in this game, doing a nice job catching Golden Guardians where they're moving to, making sure they get there nice and early. And they're here with Soligo. Might be able to turn something around on the Palafox, but Kali is tricky to pick off.
She's got Merc Treads too, right? So she is not necessarily a champion that you can hit a cocoon in one shot right away.
Ulti from Hard actually, just under the tower. Gets one stun, but doesn't clear enough space for him to kill it.
It's a warning shot.
Yeah.
Don't come at us, or I'll ult ya.
I feel like they're gonna keep doing it though. Golden Guardians not able to create quite enough space to knock down another tower. So 100 Thieves will hold on. The flatter the gold lead stays in this game, the better news it will be for Thieves given where they've landed.
It is, but there's also that double Infernal threat that's always so hard to quantify. Like, how much value is Akali and Jinx going to get out of that objective? Because we already see that gold-wise, it's a lot of them, and the TP is coming out. Everybody's fighting.
Here comes Darshan, ready with the ulti. Try and find a charge out. No, does not go for it here. Soligo was also waiting in base to TP back around. So Darshan will commit his teleport, but Golden Guardians cannot find an angle for that fight.
and I guess we just continue to wait. They don't have the tools right now to really feel like they can burst down that Baron because they need Jinx to be involved. You're not going to be able to really fool 100 Thieves into walking into the pit if Jinx is not Mia. So because she has to clear minion waves and show on the map, 100 Thieves never really respects the threat of a Baron sneak.
I wonder, maybe when Hug gets his next item, they feel they can tank it for long enough to just force them into the pit at that point. But it is curious to see that the game is slowing down here. 100 Thieves have to be breathing a sigh of relief.
All right, when you're behind, you have no problem doing no plays and letting Golden Guardians do all the hard work, seeing if they can make something happen, because execution is more on them as well. And here we go as to more plays around Baron. Lots of control wards on the side of the Golden Guardians. If you take a look there, every member control wards. Only the top lane has only one, and in fact, it's only because he just dropped his second one.
Does seem like the preparations are being made for the objective. Darshan, though, does not know where 3 little thieves are. Now sees 2. Stunt, they're going to keep waiting. Surprise! Not a good surprise. Golden Guardians, don't panic. 100 Thieves. Again, we'll get collapsed on in an instant. And Kled is tricky to chew through. But he has to be dismounted first and potentially dismounted again. Palafox also continuing to apply the wave of pressure into this bottom lane. So all that space for this Baron vision clear, for the Baron attempt itself, all being created by Golden Guardians. Nice ult. Finds Stunt in the front line. He goes into stasis. Hard continuing to try and take him down, but can't quite get it yet. Hard, though, will actually collect it at the end of the day. Finally, Golden Guardians find a pick.
That's a pretty big pick, but Golden Guardians commits 5 ultimates out of that one, and even 1 flash, so it's not like they have a ton to turn with when it comes to taking down this Baron, but knocking down the support is a really good start because that's one of the most ward-riddled members, and usually the guy that's also carrying the secondary sweeper. So Golden Guardians could, for all intents and purposes, be doing it, but they're not.
Oh, actually recalling. At least a bunch of them are. Looks like some gold to go spend there for Keith in particular, who has now finished a Phantom Dancer to join the RFC and the I-Edge.
He is fed, yes. That is a very powerful Jinx. But what are they going to do? Because that was a lot to blow for just one member. A support out of all champions. A few more spells, and I feel like, or sorry, a few less. And they would have been able to stay around, look for a repeat out of that one, because eventually the Thieves would have had to face check without the Braum being there.
And again, the gold lead actually has gotten a little bit bigger. It's about 7,000 ahead now for Golden Guardians Academy, but we can see the gold lead. The players can't. They can only infer or take a good guess. And it just feels like Golden Guardians are playing too cautiously given the lead that we can see.
They're building a lot out of the Akali, but yeah, I agree. It does feel like they should be able to press matters a little bit faster. But on the other side, you are playing a match point game. You have all that pressure against you. And it's only now that they're making the big move by going for a Baron.
Oh, nice hook. Stunt going to be found out again, but stands beside Anda, who is around to potentially steal this. Golden Guardians may have to navigate carefully.
Akali is not trusting on her teleport. She is joining the team, looking for a flank. Anda has flash and can steal. They have sight with the control ward.
She's going to force them off. Golden Guardians do not want to commit to a 50-50. Nice arcane shift there for Prismal. Even though Ole did land the hook, but Sunday going to go over the wall, clear out the vision, and we're just going to reset the map again.
That got really tricky because Golden Guardians did not do a good enough job of securing deep vision, which meant that Palafox had no ward to TP on. As an Akali, you don't want to be TPing in the middle of the fight. You want to have a flank ward. Only the ward that you can actually see here. Let me see if I can show you. I can't show it to you right now, but the ward that was in the doubles would have actually been the only play. So he has to walk over, and that stops him from pressuring the bottom side of the map, which was the whole reason why they started doing Baron in the first place. So the whole plan kind of just fell apart one piece by piece.
Yeah, 100 Thieves just continuing to hold on and react well. This was good defensive play from them, but now with a death cap finish to the Akali. Like, the carries have the weapons to open up this game. Just waiting to see kind of when the next big inflection point will be.
He's so outrageously fed as Akali right now. He one-shots Prismal. The Ezreal does not stand a chance.
Golden Guardians continuing to sweep things out. This time they'll be able to get more deeper into the enemy base, or toward the enemy base, I should say. Always threatening with a hook there from Ole. Susan doing some damage, but Palafox not too shaken. It's going to be slow and steady here for Golden Guardians. They are willing to be very patient here.
They are slowly building up the gold lead, but it's not like the next few dragons actually mean a whole lot. So if it was Mountain, I'd get it.
Another ulti combo there after the hook. Stunt again, going to be the target. No stopwatch this time, does die, but Soliga with a counter ulti. They're going to dive in. That Prismal goes to the back line. They need to kill Keith, and he does fall down, but I don't think they're going to last the rest of the fight. 100 Thieves, so still fighting it out. Someday we're going to go back in. Soligo dives back through, and a low, but that is the kill onto Silas. Elise will die as well, and Someday, the only one left alive, will flash out to safety, but forced into stasis as Golden Guardians finally win a big encounter.
And they finally get a fight with Palafox involved. You knew it was going to be a complete annihilation out of them. 402 on the Akali, completed death cap. Biggest magic resistance item, Mercury Treads, no chance.
They might force them out here.
You know what? I think he's done so. No smite, and it's not so much the threat of the steal, threat of being harassed and doing the Baron in sight with the jungler spawning so quickly, not worth the risk.
Well, watch this one again. 100 Thieves made a go of this team fight in the back end.
They thought they could catch the Elise right away. They get the Braum. Okay, not the end of the world. You at least take down one target. But Palafox gets the TP right on through, deletes the carries. And yes, it looked nice for the Thieves, but the Akali's itemization is just so massive at this point that between her sustain and burst, there's just nothing that the Thieves could do about it.
Someday nice flash. Was forced to use the stopwatch as well.
He was not. There was nothing that was actually going to kill him. He thought it might have been Ignite with the previous wound, but it was only Morelos. Yes, and there was no red buff on Palafox, so there would have been no true damage to burn him.
Well, Someday perhaps wasting that stopwatch, but success still for Golden Guardians Academy, and that's with Keith getting like basically killed before he can really do damage. Soligo with a nice set one, the ult that he stole. Was able to shut that down quickly.
Oh, actually, yes. Somebody smarter than me. Forgot. That stance. The tick would have actually returned value on that one.
Why do we doubt Someday? Stun caught, by the way. Palafox now unstoppable, and he dances back in. Ill-advised, does get shut down by Ander, but the fight still continues. Still enough strength here for the Golden Guardians to fight their way out. Soligo slain by Ole.
That's a spree going over to 100 Thieves, though, so that's going to be a really nice check in their pockets. Golden Guardians can go for it, but Anda is still alive, still has Flash and Smite, so the same threat that haunted them the first 5 minutes is still here.
Yep, again, the 50-50. If they want the Baron, they'll have to at least be contested for it. Hard and Anda are the same level, and Golden Guardians decide that, again, it is not worth the risk around this Baron. Oh, that's nice value. Delaying 2 backs.
And you know, usually the level advantage is, even if it's a 2-level advantage, you still don't want to take those 50-50s because of the inherent risk of just how much you could lose from giving up that Baron. So we'll see how this fight started off. Once again, catching out Braum. But then Palafox does the same old trick of following that E without realizing just how far he was going. Kind of like the Lee Sin Q.
Yeah. Except Lee Sin Q has a max range. Akali does not.
Yeah.
You can go all the way. To be fair, you can use your ulti to cancel it early. But what's the fun in that?
Yeah, what? That's just half-assing it. Commit.
He committed and did die. Nice bouncy collected there by Anda. Does have Hourglass now done alongside the Runic Echoes. Again, 100 Thieves continuing to fight here in this game. Needle hasn't shifted much on the gold lead. Hard gets the crab and gets out. A little risky, but for the stopwatch and being a pretty tanky Sejuani.
It's a big value crab, though. Being able to get that objective now allows them to further their control around Baron and really stop Thieves from trying to clear out vision or get any crazy wards that normal control wards would not be able to fight over, which is why you see these wards in odd locations. Like, really trying to avoid the standard spots.
To the GA now as well. Not wanting to get picked off as easily as he did in the last little few engages, actually. But still, if this Jinx has time to free fire, unreal amount of damage is available. And again, Golden Guardians, same old game, clear out the vision, put down some wards, try and find a pick, and look to take that Baron. They have stuck to this routine for the last 15 minutes at least.
This might be the time where they go for... Oh, what?
It's tough sometimes.
That was weird. If you land that, you're gonna commit.
And the target though, Chompa's down. That's a really good kill for Golden Guardians. And it will not survive despite the stopwatch. Keith able to grab it. And now Golden Guardians can commit for this Baron.
Yeah, that's exactly the kill that should give them the okay to be able to go through with this one. And Hard and Keith will start it up. So 100 Thieves, do they give it up or do they try to fight it? I think you have to give it up because of Palafox being so strong. But he's on a ward, so maybe they'll try to gank him.
Dashan also ready with a TP in base. Golden Guardians just going to do the Baron and try and finish it. TP in from Dashan. No one has smite here. Soligo going to try something. Doesn't get it. Hard with a nice smite. And finally, they get the Baron. Of course, you have to try it. Soligo just burns the Kled ulti he stole. Guess he wanted something else.
But it's got bats following.
Oh yeah,
The
that's
more
cool.
you know.
Oh yeah, you do steal the animation effects, I think, as well.
Yeah, you steal the whole thing.
Yeah.
But I just didn't know that Kled Ultimate had bats.
Count Cladila or whatever. It's the Halloween Kled skin.
Well, it is pretty scary going up against a team that is about 10,000 gold up on you and with a Fed Jinx and a Fed Akali. So, suitable.
Yeah, Baron feels like it should be the game ender here for Golden Guardians Academy. So let's see how long the Thieves can in fact hold on for. And there's even some Elder Dragon insurance that can be purchased in 30 seconds. Just in case you're not sure about the game ending. Soligo steals the ulti. Oh, Stunt gonna eat a face full for Sejuani ult. Skeet's gonna find himself the reset and it gets shut down. Jinx ulti gonna miss and a flash is out of there, but Palafox will chase. Can't chase too long, goes back in. Golden Guardians are still feeling healthy.
They are not shy about taking down Stunt right now. They are so strong. Ulting the Braum is a pretty good target because now the Thieves just have no way of setting up a fight. They're just running around like headless chickens because they can't do anything else. It benefits them to get Golden Guardians to chase him and try to buy out more time of that Baron. Every second would really count. So you get a few wasted chases and all of a sudden, that's a wave. That's a Baron's up minion wave they could have had.
By time for the Elder either. So this will be taken easily by Golden Guardians Academy as Prismal gets the bad news late. And they'll keep pushing. I think this is the right play. No need to light up on your buff time as you have so much strength in this next minute and a half.
So Someday has only one very deep ward and another ward in the back of the map. If he wants to TP, using home guards instead. Thieves have to get super creative here. This is all Golden Guardians.
Yep, they've finally broken open one of the inhibitors. Mid is exposed. Palafox is just steadily pushing the Baron cannon up towards this outer turret in bot lane. Hook on the Andrew is nice. Not quite enough distance there on the Chompers for Jinx. But again, Golden Guardians, no need to panic. This is exactly what you want with all these buffs. 100 Thieves know that fighting a team this powerful with all these buffs is probably not going to end well, but the windows of opportunity they have are shrinking rapidly.
This is also part of a matchup where you have an Elise against a Sejuani. If you don't get ahead early, Sejuani will dominate you from this point onwards. And Golden Guardians, of course, no one wants to fight them. They have Baron and Elder. They can do whatever they want in the 100 Thieves space.
Golden Guardians will not take any risks. They'll take recalls. Palafox will finish. Nice lantern there from Ole just to make sure. Did Palafox TP? He did.
Yeah.
They're actually going for the... I thought it was a recall. They're going for the turbo end. wanting to knock down as much as they can.
Why not? You're this strong. You have an ocean as well, so you can regenerate.
Keith is full build, by the way. Just TP'd back in with a Mercurial Scimitar finished, and oh my goodness, the damage. And Pizza says, "One ulti, see you later." Keith about to pop off in this one as Palafox finds a double assassination in the backline. It's going to be all she wrote. That will be a wipe. Soligo dead. Someday going to resurrect, but not for so long. And Golden Guardians will finally put themselves on the scoreboard.
That is just what we wanted when we wanted to see a competitive series for the Academy World title. And they did so, busting out some interesting picks that are actually going to determine so much more of the series.
Yep, this is the flexibility the Golden Guardians are talking about. Now 100 Thieves have things to worry about, as Golden Guardians will make this a series.
Do you ban Jinx Thresh now? You got solo killed. You got so much pressure in the bottom lane. It kind of ran over the mid game with the Lantern threats. And if that wasn't enough, the Akali, a pick that was actually banned before by 100 Thieves, was locked in the first few rotations by them, and I think was a standout performer for Golden Guardians.
I think also Hud got Sejuani, which is a champion that doesn't get often.
True.
So
a lot.
There are more potential issues you could attack in draft than you have bans available. So I'm very curious to see how the series played out. I kind of feel like bottom lane was more of operator error than champion matchup. So I think you can maybe navigate that one again. But Palafox did look very dominant on that Akali.
That was a scary one, the Akali, because the matchup for Sylas, I thought that the Sylas was going to go into the jungle and give us the more Sejuani versus Sylas. So you have two Sylas's two Sejuani ultimates running around, and then a different matchup in the mid lane. But they opted out for that highly skill-intensive matchup in Sylas versus Akali that ended up snowballing in Akali's way, and she ran over the game.
Certainly did. Golden Guardians, as a result, are now on the board. But for more on how we arrived at match point, or I guess 2-1, let's hear from Dash and them analysts.
Thank you, Pastry. All right, still match point.
There's a lot more.
It's just another match
maybe,
point.
yeah.
That's all, exactly. Golden Guardians, they strike back with everything coming down to this game and needing to put up a victory. They return to player-specific comfort picks to find the W. I think that's key.
Yeah, and I think a lot of them are also big playmakers, too. It's not comfort where you just sit back and scale or something. You know, the fact that Ole's on Thresh, the Akali, and they're able to actually go out and make plays, especially Ole, who I actually think has been having a pretty decent series, especially his Rakan in Game 2 made some really nice plays. But then this is just like the ideal start. You get 2 off the wave, they're still 1. They don't back up quite far enough to actually concede the wave, and you still make a play.
This hook was nasty. Like, oh, man. Fantastic start from Ole. Like, that really put them in the driver's seat for the early mid-game and let them, like, snowball so hard.
Pick up a kill bot lane, pick up a kill mid lane. That puts Palafox in the kind of position to carry that the casters were talking about. It wasn't just the bot lane who stepped up around those comfort picks for them. We are looking at that Akali in the mid lane in the assassin role, who needs to be a threat to the back line of 100 Thieves. And again, picking up the necessary kills early to be positioned well to do so.
This is a nasty play by Akali. You see him like do a lot of damage early, pick up the kill onto Elise, but he had the E on Sylas the whole time, and it's really well played. I'm happy to see the Akali into Sylas. I actually personally scrimmed against Palafox a lot. We practiced the matchup a lot, so he's seen it a lot.
You trained him well, because he actually did that play a couple of times. One time he went maybe a little bit too far with it, kind of took it into the Ezreal, but he did a good job of knowing, I have enough damage to kill this guy without my E. I can potentially set up another kill by using it on the secondary target. So it shows he has a very good understanding of the champion.
Yeah, and so I think where we get to is looking at this early game here and how much of a different picture this paints than the first 2 games of the series. You know, for Golden Guardians, it's not like they couldn't win in a scaling matchup. I think that is still an option on the table for them, for sure. But this just gives me so much more, or a sense of ease in that, like, they had control, right?
Yeah.
And it's, I imagine, much easier to play a game from a winning position, right? Than relying on scaling to your winning position at 35+ minutes.
Yeah, most definitely. It was a dominant early game from Golden Guardians, but I actually do think it's really key that they had the Jinx in that game. The Jinx Thresh specifically, which gives the Jinx a lot of safety. They had that security in the late game, because Golden Guardians, they did get a big early game, but they weren't able to snowball the game fast. You know, it wasn't like a quick 25-minute game with that big of a lead. It was a very slow grind out, and I would be worried if they didn't have something like, they had the Jinx, but an alternative Corki. Like
Put a Lucian in there.
Yeah, put a
now
Lucian,
maybe it's
a
a little
Callista.
scarier.
Like, I think the long range carry potential that Jinx brings and the security net, I feel like I want to see Golden Guardians pick something like that again, whether it's mid or bottom. I want to see like a security net, because I think this next game is going to go long.
I think, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, yeah, because if you look at how the first 2 games happened, it was very back and forth in the early game with a mid-game fight that really broke it open. And so it does feel like this is more the aberration in the series, where they got a great lead and kind of snowballed it, but still needed to make sure they had late game insurances. So I still like the idea of making sure you have some of those in your comp as well.
To your point, Golden Glue, the stats we showed were 15-minute stats. So they had over 5K gold lead at 15 minutes. Let's go ahead and roll forward to 29 minutes into the game. At this point, 100 Thieves is still very much alive in the game, although on the back foot. It will be a 4-for-2 in favor of the Golden Guardians, what helps them close this game out.
And this is a pretty close fight. It looked like right here, like maybe 100 Thieves could actually win the fight. And that's what I kind of, it wasn't very convincing to me. It took 9 minutes for them to get a team fight off with this advantage. So GGS did convert, they did get the kills, and they lead this into the win.
This is kind of a sweet heads-up play.
I have to correct the captors.
Yeah.
I think that what was happening was the Death Dance was ticking down, and so he had to stopwatch to stop the Death Dance from killing him.
Yeah.
Not that it mattered.
Yeah.
They lost the Baron right after that anyways, but it was a heads-up play.
It did save him. The stopwatch did save him from dying.
Still very much a slick heads-up play. Also, one of the things I will point out here is the Drake control. Of course, what comes with that 5K gold advantage so early on the game is the ability to group up around that dragon. But as we had talked about, the first 2 games of the series very much going in the the way of 100 Thieves. Golden Guardians is able to secure those for themselves this time around.
And even if you're not going to get a 5K gold lead, which is kind of game-winning in its own right usually, getting the objective control just through a winning bot lane matchup where you have priority feels really important in this series, because if it does go back to how the other games were, where it's a mostly even early game, you want to have that fallback plan of like, okay, well, we have double Infernal. So we always have that.
Most definitely. And those damage charts are actually really interesting. I didn't see those. 100 Thieves actually out-damaged Golden Guardians. That's interesting, and a game where you're losing the whole time, they somehow did more damage.
Helps that you have Ezreal.
It does help that you have Ezreal, but normally you can't do that much damage when you're just getting pushed into your whole base, right?
Or when you're dead.
Yeah, so that's something to take from the loss, I guess, 100 Thieves is like, well, we're still in it. Like, we're behind a lot, and we're still fighting.
Yeah, without a doubt. So once again, we return to a match point situation. 100 Thieves is still in control of their own destiny, quite obviously. Put a win here, you end it 3-1. Golden Guardians needs 2 more back-to-back. 100 Thieves will go back over to blue side, so we're following the same trends that we've had so far. Mark, what are your thoughts?
It's nice that they're on blue side because they can kind of reactively ban some of this non-meta stuff, the more comfort-based things that they're winning on. Obviously, the Akali can also be a takeaway, so you can ban the Thresh now because you don't need to worry about the Yuumi. I don't know if that's what they're going to do, because Ole was a problem that game, but it's almost like, do you want to challenge him to have to be that good again where he lands 2 nasty hooks?
Yeah.
It's right, yeah, right. Okay, it's a couple big sequences of events have to go completely correct for Golden Guardians and the Thresh in order to net an advantage like that. So if you can prepare for that coming and just prevent it from happening this time around, would you be happy re-entering the game with the exact same 2 drafts? I know they're on opposite sides now.
I have a bigger problem with the Akali than the Thresh.
Okay.
I would want to see them take it away with the first pick or ban it out.
I want to see a lower priority on Sylas. I feel like Sylas has not really been too impactful in these games. Both teams are picking it very early, and it's not a champion like that nets this late game security, which is what every single one of these games are coming down to. So I'm hoping to see a lower priority on that.
All right, just some thoughts from us ahead of the 4th game of the day. Golden Guardians have extended the series to keep their championship alive. We'll see if they can force a Game 5, or if 100 Thieves will shut down the comeback and claim the title. The Academy Finals return in just a few minutes.
Oh, what a hook. Into the chompers. And that's going to be first blood. Prism will see you later.
Some Thresh coming. I'm going. Silas, Silas.
Okay. Nice job.
Nice. Silas, good job, good job.
And they're going in. They actually find keep the assassination. 100 Thieves. Call me a liar. Going to pick off hard here as well. So Ligo able to slap him down with the chains. 100 Thieves, though, still fighting it out someday. We're going to go back in. Ligo dives back through and a low, but that is the kill onto Silas.
I'm plating in front. Lisa's dead. Help Jinx, help Jinx.
I have GA. Yeah. Guys, I got Ezreal on
Aatrox is stunned. Aatrox is stunned.
Oh yeah, this is our first sweep, guys, for sure. I can feel it.